We're joined by Siena, Coach Jaques, as well as Simone Kelly and Jackie Benitez. Coach, would you like to make an opening statement?
Sure. You know, obviously today didn't go how we would have liked it to go. You know, but I give our team a lot of credit for not quitting. Give Iona a lot of credit. You know, I think they're top to bottom one of the most talented teams in this conference. And you know, from a basketball standpoint, we came up with some empty possessions, and I felt like, you know, rebounding got the best of us. You know, when you face the all-time leading rebounder in the history of the league, you have to have an extra focus on rebounding. And, you know, Joy Adams is a career double-double. So want to wish her the best, and quite frankly, glad we don't have to play against her next year because she's a pro. But I enjoyed competing against her for her 4 years, and I think Billy does a great job, you know, and for our team, you know, I guess we just have to chalk it up as a learning experience at this point. You know, looking at our players' faces in the locker rooms, you know, it's over, and it finally kind of hit them that it's over, and that can be really, really hard. But I know we've got some talent, I know we've got some toughness, and I know we have players that work hard and want to become better individually, and that's going to help us for the future. So we'll open up for any questions, and you know, proud of our effort.
We have the microphone, so if you just raise your hand, we'll get the microphone to you. Bob, go ahead.
Simone, you got to be feeling a couple of different things right now. Just talk about recapping the career. Had to be a little sad way.
Would you mind repeating yourself? It's
Sure.
kind of a little muffled.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Last game for you, emotional. Talk a little bit about your career and ending the season.
My career. It's been really kind of a hard journey for me, being out my first 2 years with injuries, but the last 2 years that I had here were great. I wouldn't have done it without my teammates, my coaches, and my trainers. They really helped me come back, be positive, and stay healthy. And I'm just glad that I had the opportunity to be a Siena Saint for 4 years.
Ali, they hit 9 threes, and it seemed like they were all bunched into those 2 runs they hit you with, one in each half. Was some of that having to worry about Adams inside and you gave up some threes, do you think? Or what do you think was behind that?
Yeah, you know, I think that the way they spread you out, because they all have the ability to shoot, and I think Marina Lizarazu does a great job of finding who's hot. And Robinson loves to hang out in the corner and drill threes. And we were late on rotations, and if she gets a look, it's going in. And she's a senior, and I think she's, you know, I wouldn't say she's underrated. You know, I think on any other team, she's clearly playing through injury, so give her a lot of credit for her toughness. But when she gets an open look, it's going in, and she had 17. You know, and I think that when they have a player like that get hot, her being 5 for 9, I think their point guard does a really good job of finding the hot hand, and they run things, and they're smart, and they're simplistic with what they do, but they do a really good job of finding the hot hand. So we need to do a better job defensively of zeroing in on her and not letting her catch the ball, not letting her get open looks. You know, we like to run a matchup, and they really spread us out, so we went man-to-man against them, and you know, we slowed down the run a little bit, but you know, we've got to grow up defensively. We've got to get better. We will. You know, I believe in these guys. You know, I know we can teach defense, and sometimes the tempo of the game and sometimes the intensity of the game is tough for young players. But that's just an excuse. So we're not going to have excuses this spring and this summer and next year. We're going to get better. But I would give Iona a lot of credit. I think they do a great job. I think they've got the best point guard in the league, and they do a really good job of finding her. And Joy hit a 3 in that stretch too. I mean, Joy's an inside-out player, so yeah.
Right up front here.
Yeah, Ali, in the second half, even though they had built up a pretty big lead, you guys did start to come back and close it down. I think it was to 13 or so. Did you did you see that, you know, maybe you might have had it in you to kind of to fight back, to get back in it?
Yeah, you know, the marker is always 10 minutes to go. If you can cut it to 10, you got a chance, right? So we're down 13, and it's our ball going into the fourth quarter, and we ran, whatever we ran, we were trying to get the ball inside, not necessarily go for a three. And I don't remember the sequence of events. I'd have to go back and look at the box. But I felt like those were really, really critical possessions that started the fourth quarter, and we were right there. I thought that Joella and Tanisha did a great job. Even with 6 minutes to go, whatever we were down, you know, we had some deflections, we had some almost steals, we had some tips. I thought Joella had a great, you know, did a great job for us, giving us a spark defensively. But yeah, threes can be backbreakers. They really can. And I mean, Jackie proved that yesterday, you know, I mean, and so when you have a weapon like that and all of a sudden it just feels like an insurmountable lead. But I don't think our players ever quit, and I'm proud of that.
Jackie, Ali talked about looking in the players' faces in the locker room, and it looked like you kind of hit everybody that it's over. What were you feeling kind of when you went back in that locker room and you were, you know, getting ready to come in here, I guess? What emotions were you feeling after the game was over?
I'm really upset that it is over, because we wanted to continue on playing, and the team, as a team, we're all gonna miss Simone, but we do realize that we have some more time, and we have to just work hard during the off season for next season.
Yeah, Ali, I mean, you only lose one. You lose one player. I mean, a significant player, obviously. But then when you look at this roster and the experience they gained, what are your hopes for this team going forward?
Well, you know, I think that for the future, we're going to miss Simone. We're going to miss Amaya. You know, so, you know, we forget about that sometimes. You know, we need Margot to get healthy and get back. You know, coming into the season, she was second team all conference, you know, in the preseason. And I think that, you know, if we can get her back and healthy with the freshmen that we're adding, Madison Sims is a really talented lefty, tough, physical post player, so she kind of fits the Megan Donahue mold. And we're going to be looking to sign at least 2 more late. And, you know, with the core of our team coming back with this experience, we just got to build on it, and we got to keep getting better. And I know we will, because we've got gym rats on our team. And the maturity part of it, the listening, the having the experience, you know, there were definitely times this year where, and I said this to my staff, I said there's times where I feel like I'm coaching blind. Like I could tell Ida last year to run a play and she knew what I was looking for, you know, just by the play call. Well, we're going to have that in the future moving forward. You know, this is the first time I have 2 freshman point guards and everybody's young, right? So moving forward, I can say to them, remember in the Iona game last year when we got beat on this, or we can run this, or we can look for this, they'll know what I'm talking about. So I'm really looking forward to having experience. I said a couple days ago, everyone's looking for the fountain of youth, and I'm looking for the fountain of experience. Well, we've got it, okay? And we've got it moving forward. And while it's sad to see people move on and go, I know that Simone and Amaya left everything they possibly could in the program and in the locker room, and their blood, sweat, and tears is on that court, and I'm proud of them, you know, and they were with me for 4 years, the first 4 years of my head coaching career. So, you know, we're going to move forward, and we're going to get better, but we're going to remember what those players brought, all right, and we're going to build off of it. You guys back there have questions?
First one for you, Ali. You just talked a lot about the fact that you have a luxury, really, of having these young players going forward. But when you look at where you have ended the season, how does that stack up to your expectations at the beginning of the season?
Good question. Well, I think that for my 4 years at Siena, this is the second most wins we've had, even though we had a losing season. I think that's something to note. So we did it with a very young team. And I think, you know, next year's schedule, we got a tough schedule next year. You know, I can't say the teams that we have on our schedule next year, but definitely 3 postseason teams for sure. And we're going to keep scheduling tough. I scheduled tough on purpose this year. And in retrospect, maybe I made a mistake on that. I don't know. No, you know what? I didn't make a mistake. I made a lot of mistakes this year. That wasn't one of them. Because we got to learn. We got to be invited to the preseason WNIT, right? And that's a really big deal. And our players got to have tournament experience. So they knew what it was going to feel like to play back-to-back. So, you know, tough schedule. you know, last year our non-conference schedule, we were 7-2, and we played some teams that, you know, going into it, we weren't quite sure if we could beat them, and, you know, we were good. So our players know what it takes now, all right? And it's just about putting the work in. You know, sometimes you get what you deserve. And I know how hard this team's going to work this summer, and I can't wait to see what they deserve next year.
Any other questions? Yep. Go ahead.
Jackie, you said you were disappointed to end the season, but as a freshman sitting here today, did you know or could you have anticipated everything that you were able to contribute and achieve in your first year?
Honestly, it's just my teammates helping me out in the gym, all getting in one-on-one when the coaches aren't around, and just helping each other out.
Any other
Thanks.
questions? Okay.
Good luck to the guys.
Thanks
Go
very
Saints.
much. Thank you.